Chopin's Waltz in A minor is deceptively difficult. Most pianists can learn the notes fairly quickly, but I noticed that my students struggle with the same things. In today's video, I'm going to help you work through 3 primary challenges of this piece: playing the left-hand leaps accurately, executing the trills and the grace notes stylistically with clean articulation, and pedaling to maintain clarity. Let's talk about how to play the grace notes and the trills in this piece. There's a lot of controversy about whether they should be played on the beat or before the beat, and many editions are marked for them to be played on the beat like this. I personally like to play them before the beat because that's more the style of Chopin and romantic music in general. So when you get to this section, there's a lot of grace notes. When you get to bars 33 through 40, you'll see some trill markings. So that little squiggly line is a trill. And I would play these before the beat also. So they're going to sound very similar to the grace notes. When you get to bar 51, there's a trill, and you could just play a simplified trill here: E, F, E, F, E, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. That's the easiest way to play it. And it also keeps the melody intact because the melody is. So I recommend starting and ending with the E. If you want to do a fancier trill, start and end with the E. And for the very last trill, I also recommend starting on an E to keep the melody line intact. So the melody is E. So you could start with E, F, E again on the trill. E, F, E. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. And then gradually work into playing 5 notes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, starting and ending on the E. And once you're comfortable with that, you can try the free trill. Start and end on the E, and get your thumb up so that there's not a lot of finger movement. I'm making my wrist do the work. So I'm doing wrist rotation like I'm opening a doorknob. You can also lift your elbow a little bit so that that trill comes out lighter. So you don't have the heavy weight of your arm in the trill. I'd like to take a quick pause and let you know that I've got a full course on this piece. So if you'd like the sheet music with my fingering, pedaling, and dynamic markings, plus my full approach on how to play this expressively with creative phrasing and dynamic ideas, it's linked in the description below and also at briantepianoduo.com. Pedaling on this piece is controversial. Some teachers will have you put the pedal down on beat 1 and then lift off on beat 2 like this. I personally think that's too dry. And some teachers will have you change the pedal on beat 1 and then hold it through the rest of the measure. Like that. I think that's too muddy. And even if you use a half pedal and only push the pedal halfway down, it's still too muddy. So I recommend changing the pedal on beats 1, 2, and 3 in every measure as a general rule. And And there will be a few measures that you'll do something different. So at bar 21, I recommend changing the pedal on beats 1 and 3. And then go back to changing it on beats 1, 2, and 3. That's so that the arpeggio sounds smoother. If you change on beat 2, kind of sounds a little choppy. So just holding it through, you're playing the same notes in both hands, so it doesn't need a pedal change there. Then change there, then go back to 3 pedal changes. Another pedal approach that you could try is when you see the half notes in the right hand, do a little something different. So change 3 times in this first measure, then here, change and then hold on the half note. Change, 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 and hold. Change, 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 hold. So I think that pedaling approach works well. You may be wondering if you should use the soft pedal in this piece. I think it's really nice to use in a few places, like when you're trying to create an echo effect on repeated material. So bars 1 through 4 are basically the same as 9 through 12. I like to put the soft pedal on at bar 9, right on the pickup note, so that I get an echo effect. So here's bars 1 through 4 without the soft pedal. And then on the pickup into 9, I'm going to put my soft pedal on. And I use the soft pedal on the trill at the end so it doesn't sound too harsh. I noticed that pianists play the left hand way too loud on this piece, and they're trying to use the soft pedal to do all the work. It's not going to work miracles. You have to make sure that your left hand is very light when you're trying to create that echo effect. So if you're really conscious of your left hand, you can get a very nice pianissimo sound. These left hand leaps are one of the primary challenges of this piece, so being able to play accurately. I recommend that you go through the piece and learn the chords really well without the leaps first. So then if you have to memorize this piece, I highly recommend what I have my students do and mark in patterns in the music. So bars 1 through 4, I would mark as A1, and then bars 5 through 8 is almost the same, but slight differences. At bar 7 is slightly different, and bar 8 is slightly different from bars 3 and 4. And then bars 9 through 12 is almost the same as bars 1 through 4 again, but slightly different here. And so we would mark that as A3 material. And then we go back to A1 in bars 13 through 16. Then in the B section, we would mark this as B1 material. And these first 4 bars just repeat. So we would mark the next 4 bars as B1 material also. If you look at the first note of each measure, you'll notice a pattern also. A, D, G, C, and then we do A, D, G, C, but we're starting with a different A this time. And then we repeat it. A, D, G, C, A, D, G, C. Then in the B section, you're just going back and forth between E and A, back and forth. So if you take the time to study the music like this and mark in patterns, it will really help you to feel more comfortable with the left hand notes and the patterns and the chords, and the leaps won't be as problematic. You could even do this even if you don't have to memorize this piece. It will really help you to feel confident with the left hand notes and the leaps. I hope you'll join me in my full course on this piece so you can learn to play it with an expressive, polished sound. It's linked below in the description and also at briantepianoduo.com. Chopin isn't easy, but if you'd like to try one of his nocturnes, watch this next video of mine where I teach Chopin's Nocturne number 21 in C minor. It's one of his easiest nocturnes and it's gorgeous.